was PS 150, a local school that's right here in the New York City area, ages 3K to 5. That was them. They rejoined us again from last year. It's always a pleasure having them participate in the annual Christmas tree lighting. Now to talk more about the rich history behind the origination of the Christmas tree lighting here at the New York Stock Exchange, I do want to bring in my colleague Anna Melo. She is with us today. She is the curator for historical archives and interactive experiences here at the New York Stock Exchange. Anna, it's great to have you.
It's great to be here, Trinity.
So let's just dive in. You have a very impressive story about the origination of this tradition and the significance behind it. So tell our viewers more about it.
Well, the first year that the New York Stock Exchange erected a Christmas tree was 1923, and that was in order to celebrate the completion of the financial district's electrical grid. So Thomas Edison built the world's first centralized electrical power station back in 1882, but it took more than 60 years for just the island of Manhattan to get fully electrified. It took a really long time. So it was a major celebration in 1923 when they finally had power in the entire financial district. The New York Stock Exchange celebrated by erecting their very first Christmas tree, which is the same year as the first national Christmas tree under the Coolidge administration.
Oh, that's so cool. And you know, you and I were talking earlier in the office how they illuminated the decorations on the Christmas tree when we couldn't with electricity. Tell us more about that.
So that's going to skip forward about 50 years, actually exactly 50 years.
Yeah.
So on the 50th tree lighting celebration, that was in the middle of the oil embargo of 1973, when Americans had to very, very rigorously conserve electricity. So there was no power available for the Christmas tree lights. But instead of letting the financial district continue to be dark, the New York Stock Exchange employees painted all of the ornaments with glow-in-the-dark paint. So although the tree did not shine, it did glow.
Amazing. And you know, that's a hefty feat to do that, because there's something like 10,000 decorations on this tree. So to go individually and hand paint them, that's quite the task. But I do want to talk to you about, you know, how this tradition has evolved and it changed over the years since 1923. I mean, this is a 231-year-old institution.
Yes, it has changed and evolved quite a lot. So in the earliest days, it was a very small celebration just for the neighborhood, and continued to be a daytime affair all the way through the 1970s.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, they would bring in traditional children's choirs, which we still do, and the Salvation Army Band. Into the 1980s, the tradition began to grow, and it had become a nighttime celebration. And by then, they had an official children's party celebration, and in 1985 was the first time that Disney mascots came and celebrated Christmas here at the New York Stock Exchange.
And we have a lot of mascots here today as we get ready to light this tree at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Talk to me more about why it was so significant that Wall Street start this tradition.
Well, Wall Street is very low in lower Manhattan, and the first electrical power station was right over there on Pearl Street. So it makes sense that this was one of the first neighborhoods to get fully electrified, and Wall Street has always been a beacon. People have always come and assembled here and collected here, and in the beginning, like I mentioned, it was a very small-scale celebration, but as the financial district has moved away from being solely office space and there have been more and more residents, more New Yorkers moving in, it has become a neighborhood affair in an entirely different way, and we get to see local families and their children enjoying the celebration right here.
And that's what the celebration is all about today, right? Bringing the community together, spending time with your loved ones around the holiday season. Going back to the history of the Christmas tree, though, has there been any year that the Christmas tree wasn't lit?
Well, there was 1973
Yeah.
when the Christmas tree was not lit because of the oil embargo gas crisis.
Yes.
But additionally, in 1979, there was a major full-scale renovation on the trading floor. And that's the first time they installed computers and televisions. In order to support the weight of all that analog technology, they had to install a massive scaffold onto the trading floor, which took up the entirety of Broad Street, and therefore there was no space to put the Christmas tree the year of 1979. But every other year, there has been a tree erected, and every year since 73, they have glowed.
Amazing. I mean, I always love picking your brain about all the little historical nuggets that we have around here at the Exchange. As a matter of fact, to our viewers, we're listening to School of Rock as they prepare to head to the stage. And again, the crowd is just garnering just right behind us and onto the side of us. And I think they're getting started, so we should listen in.